I'm Jim Check with KelownaNow. I'm here with Renee Merrifield. We're going to talk about BC Election Day, October 19th. We're going to run the election desk, BC Decision Day, and Renee's going to sit with me on the desk and have our reporters call in. It's looking to be a very exciting time, right, for BC?
Absolutely. This is going to be historical. Never before have we had so many independents running. Never have we had such a close race that's very difficult to call right now.
Yeah, it's so many things that are like first-time things, right?
Yeah.
Conservatives come out of nowhere, right? Like
Yes.
literally riding on, I think, the federal party's coattails, I think. And
100%.
then the BC United Party, which you were a part of, kind of like folded up in the middle of all that. And you're not running, so this is perfect for you. You know most of these candidates. You know most of the MLAs that have served too, right? So it's going to be great to watch on Kelowna because Renee's going to have the backstory on most of the candidates.
I'm going to try really hard.
So it's going to be like a really interesting, I think some polls are showing the NDP ahead, some polls are showing the Conservatives ahead.
Absolutely. And also, you know, we need to take a look at what's happening in the Lower Mainland. We're going to be watching Surrey in particular very closely. Surrey is is a city that those ridings can really decide and shift the balance of power. So we're going to be watching those very carefully. There's been a lot of drama out there that we get to take part in, and then watching our own independent candidates here locally. You know, really
because we have three strong candidates,
very strong
independents
candidates
here. That would have been a lot of people have said that should have been supplanted the conservative candidates that had less experience.
It's going to be interesting because, is it about the person and the person that's running, or is it about the party and just the party name and reputation and brand and also the federal brands that are obviously carrying the day right now?
So NDP typically not strong in the Okanagan too, but we do have a really strong candidate with Boyle, right?
Yes, I think that's the strongest candidate that they've ever put forward in this area. Having said that, you know, a strong candidate's name is only good for 4 or 5% of the vote, and then the rest of it has to be on, you know, how did they show up in their debates? How did they get out to the doors? You know, were they present and available at the different events? And then, you know, are they running for the right party?
Yeah, so advanced polling seems to be strong. So I don't know who that favors. Does that favor a particular party? Or?
Typically, it is a change vote. So when you see very strong advanced polls, typically that means that there's actually a huge wave of change that will be coming. It's really exciting to see. It's probably talking about making history, it's one of the highest percentages of advanced polling that we've ever seen. So that's a good news story that we see voters getting to their feet and actually getting out to vote. But I just saw this morning a Vancouver Sun news article where they were talking about how it doesn't really necessarily mean that it's a vote for change. I mean, you'd have to defy history on that one, but it could go either way.
I've interviewed Mario Canseco several times, the pollster. He said if the BC United and the Conservatives would have done a better transition, that it would have been a lock already for the Conservatives.
100%. You know, my dream for that would have been that, you know, John Rustad would have called together every candidate, would have said, hey, we're going to do a full revet of every single candidate that we have, and we're going to choose the absolute best candidates moving forward. And in doing that, not everyone is going to be able to run, but I need absolutely every one of you in order to win. And really pitched a new vision forward and a new way. I think that would have signaled the end of BC United, to be honest. Now there's a whole bunch of orphaned...
An uprising thing.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of orphaned, whether it's MLAs, sitting incumbent MLAs who are running as independents, or whether it's the voter that says, I don't see myself in either of these polar opposite candidates. I think that there could have been a way, way better transition done. And really it was a huge missed opportunity. And I think it might actually be detrimental to the BC Conservative Party long term. Yeah,
and Kevin Kraft is one of the independents that's running in Vernon Lumby, Coldstream, said that he's a football guy. He said that, you know, basically they were handed the football at the 1 yard line and they fumbled it, right?
Yeah, so. And we have seen that in history. You know, Andrew Scheer, when he ran federally, it was his to lose, was what they said. You know, and literally, I mean, what a decimation that the federal Conservatives received in that time frame. So I'm hoping that it won't go that way. I'm hoping that the BC United sacrifice was not for naught. But having said that, we're looking at a very tight race right now, and literally the polls are adjusting day by day.
Yeah. So we're going to be here October 19th. We're going to start around 6 p.m.
Yes.
And we're going to be here till the decision is made.
Absolutely. And so everyone knows this decision will be faster than we've ever seen before. And that's largely because of the electronic voting that is being done. That is a new system that's just been implemented for this election. And so it will have the votes coming in much more quickly than what we've seen in the past.
So we'll see stuff coming quite quick then, right? So we're going to have our full team working. We're going to have reporters at the victory parties or consolation parties or whatever you want to call them.
You know what? At the celebration parties, because regardless of whether these candidates win or lose, putting your name on that ballot and really, putting your heart and soul into an election is difficult. So, it will be celebration, and I hope that all of the parties can feel that way on that night. But yes, there will be definitely a lot of range of emotions going on as we see those poll numbers coming in.
And you know that all too well, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's a big toll on family as well and everybody around you, I guess, right? Because it's a
Absolutely.
lot of stress, right? So,
absolutely.
Because I know that a lot of the candidates are out there, like door knocking right to the bitter end, right? So
100%. The GOTV, or the Get Out the Vote, that will be going all the way until election day and until the polls close. You, as a team on election day, you are literally trying to make sure that every single person that said they were voting for you is getting.
You got a bus and you're driving around, you're picking people up.
Maybe in the olden days, not as much anymore. Not as much
Free
anymore.
hot dogs and everything.
No, yeah. you can't bribe a vote either.
So it's going to be exciting. So KelownaNow is going to have the coverage. KelownaNow's done really good too. If you're still not sure, KelownaNow's got the 5-minute interviews with Kent Mulligan. He's got all the candidates other than one. And then I've done the 30-minute interviews, and we've got most of the candidates other than a couple of the conservative candidates. So lots of resources on KelownaNow, and we're going to be there for you until that decision's made.
Absolutely. And this is going to be exciting. It's literally going to be, poll by poll, and it's going to be riding by riding as to who is going to actually form government. And that is tenuous. I mean, if we get a minority government, the independents could be the tail wagging the dog. This might be the story of the independents who are running and actually win their ridings.
And then the Green parties are hoping that they're the one that wags the dog again. But if there is a story here that will be written after this election is done, is that the Greens have almost imploded as a party. It's very unfortunate. I love Sonia Furstenau. I have the utmost of respect for Adam Olsen. They are two of the finest parliamentarians and true statespeople that I've ever had the privilege of working with or watching. Sonia Furstenau hands down won the debate, but honestly, it's just they don't have enough in their momentum. They really tried to outflank on the left, the NDP, and with David Eby, that flank kept getting farther and farther left. And with the change vote, that people are not going to the left, they're going to the right. They want security on their paychecks. They want to know that our economy is turning in the right direction. They want to know that housing is going to be there for their kids, and that their healthcare system is going to be there for their parents and for themselves as they age. So this election is so about change and so about not moving in the same direction and not getting more of the same, that I think that the Greens are just left out there in literally left field. One of the interesting things on the Green thing, I'll just bring this up, is that Andrew Weaver came out in support of John Rustad and saying that he would rather trust him with the climate than he would David Eby.
Well, because look at the Clean BC plan, which I have to say has Andrew Weaver's fingers all over it, has been a disaster. Clean BC has been largely charged with why our economy is sliding, why our resource sector is fading into oblivion when we should be an energy power. We are actually an energy shrinking violet. And also, the Clean BC plan has not resulted in a lowering of our emissions. So while the rest of Canada has seen a real reduction in their emissions and overall numbers, BC has not. And so it's largely like we can't keep doing what we're doing and expect it to work. It's not a double down and then things are going to change. We have to do something very different. And right now, BC is not on the right track with respect to its environment policy.
We kind of live in a province and a country of abundance, and we've been kind of operating under a government of scarcity.
Absolutely. And, like I said to you earlier, Jim, if we were watching this happen to any other country around the world, we would be sounding the alarm bell. Look, they are rich with all sorts of natural resources, and yet they're
Fresh water even.
Fresh water, absolutely. Like when I say natural resources, all of our natural resources and our natural beauty, and yet we are literally driving our populations into poverty. Yeah. And that right there is a reason to sound the alarm bell and to really
tactics everywhere. Tactics everywhere.
100%.
And it's from the federal level and down to the provincial level.
100%.
We won't keep you too long today, though. We're going to get all ready for the big night. So October 19th, you're going to be on KelownaNow. We're going to be live on X. We're going to be live on YouTube. And we'll be pumping out stories. Story after story. We'll have the whole team working for you. And this is where you're going to want to be for election night.
Absolutely. We're going to have a hoot.
There you go. And we thank you for watching KelownaNow.
We don't just report the news. We live here too. We're your neighbors, bringing you stories that matter to all of us. No government funding, no outside influence. KelownaNow, local, independent. News you can trust.